guys, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, fire them. Don't even waste any time. Let's get into it. All right, guys, this is me again. This is Emmett Stallworth, the Alpha Builder. Guys, I want to talk about something a little different today. A lot of stuff I've been doing has been commentation on, African Americans in the industry. I don't want to make this site all about the dysfunction of African American contractors. Let's talk about somebody else that's dysfunctional. I won't say necessarily dysfunctional, but let's talk about somebody else. And what I want to talk about today is real estate agents. Now, let me say this right here, guys. And the reason that this right here whole video came about is, I'm teaching a class, and, I kind of go heavy in on, just on real estate agents, in some cases, guys. And one of my students said, God, man, you rough on these agents. And, I'm teaching builders. And the reason that I'm tough on agents is because if you don't have your marketing together, guys, if those guys are not good at what they do, because let me say this right here, guys, your marketing in this game, if you are a spec home builder or you're a home builder, and I'm mainly talking about spec homes, speculative homes. Speculative home is when the builder goes out here, he gets the loan from the bank, he goes buys the land, and he build that house, and then he put a for sale sign up and he try to sell it. So you got to get somebody to market it. Let me tell you something, builders. You can have a great product. If you can't sell that product, it means nothing. So your marketing is critical. And if those agent is not producing a fiduciary responsibility with you, and they're not helping you get that thing seen and get it viewed, or working with you on the front end to make sure you produce a good product so that people will come in and buy, because they should be the ones that's in the market, understanding the market. If they're not having that relationship with you, you better do something, because they will take you under. They will. Now, before we get started, I want you guys to understand something. I'm not talking about all real estate agents. Now, a lot of builders don't even like to they won't even want to make a video about something like this right here, because they don't want to, they walking on eggshells. And they don't want to make a real estate agent mad at them, or make the real estate team mad at them. But guys, I'm not talking about all the real estate agents. What I'm talking about, let's look at what I'm talking about. And I had to go to my little board. I like to go to this board, guys. What I'm talking about, guys, in this market today, when you're dealing with real estate agents, you have what they call let me see if I can put it over here. You have the 80-20 rule. And that's just about in everything. You got an 80-20 rule in just about everything. Guys, 20% of the real estate agents, they're making 80% of the deals. I'm not talking about those agents. I'm not talking about that 20%. Those 20% agents, they work hard. They work with those builders on the front end, help that builder understand where his cost margins need to be in order to sell it, so the builder can work backwards. See, builder, if the real estate agent is identifying that this product is selling, and they kind of looked at the market and said, hey, interest rates are doing this right here, the buyer, they can only afford this type of house at this particular time, and 6 months from now, by the time you get that house on the ground, this is where the market is going to be. If that agent is not working with you on the front end, helping you navigate as a builder and figure this thing out, and then not only that, the design. They should be helping you with the design. And then they list it for you. And then they can help you with rendering. Something you can put up there to get people to come in, because a lot of people don't have the vision to see that end product. That's what the builder has. But the agent has to sell it. So you do have 20% agents. I'm telling you, man, 20% of those agents, they work hard. They put a lot of time. And these 20% agents, guys, let me tell you something else about them. In most cases, they are full-time agents. These guys are not part-time. This ain't no side hustle for them. But 20% of the real estate agent are closing 80% of the deals. That's in most cases. All markets not the same. Now, 80% of the agents, these boss people, get the bag and I'm gonna do all this kind of stuff on the side hustle, woo, woo, woo. Those guys, they're scuffling over 20% of the deals. That 20% real estate agent, these guys are out here, they jacklegging, they side hustling. See, real estate right now, guys, if you're an agent, this needs to be your main hustle. Just like if I'm a builder, this is my main hustle. And you know something? If you can get that product sold, now here's another problem, guys. Even if you that top tier agent, guys, if you that top tier agent, even if you're that top tier agent right here, guys, if you don't get that thing sold or you can't get that thing marketed and get it moved real quick, the builder is losing interest. Guys, and this is and what I'm talking about, guys, I'm talking about me as a spec builder. I'm not talking about the custom, because if you're doing a custom house, it already should be sold. I'm gonna piggyback around on that custom stuff in just a second. So this builder, if that's agent, even if you're one of them great agents, still, if you're not getting that product sold, I'm losing money. I'm losing money, guys. So yes, a builder like me, I will ride you until we get that thing sold. I mean, guys, and look, man, and if they can't get it sold, you might have to move on. But this is what happened, guys. So you got a lot of these agents out here. They're not committed to selling real estate 100%. They're not. They're out here, basically being honest with you, this is a side hustle for them. But you as a builder, this is a full-time hustle, guys. You better stay on them and make sure they do what they're supposed to do. And make sure they have a fiduciary responsibility with you as a builder. Just like I was telling that student, she was asking me, why are you so tough on agents? I'm tough on agents. I'm tough on them because if my product don't get sold, if they don't have a plan to help me get that thing sold, my lifeline as a builder is contingent on them. That's why you as an agent need to be out here operating like this is a side hustle for you. Now, let's go back to something, man. Let me just kind of go back. I'm gonna take you guys back to a time. I'm gonna switch this on the board here. I'm gonna take you guys back to a time. Now, here's something else, guys. Real estate agents right now, those guys they're getting for the most part 6%. We don't know what it's, I'll tell you what this right here, this came from, there's a lawsuit right now that's going on about this commission thing. Now, back in the day, prior to the federal Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and prior to when people when people just felt like everybody should have a house. So when they got in here and they said, everybody should have a house, guys. Everybody should have a house. Then the government jumped on board and they created these government agencies that would back citizens' loans. So since the government came in and would back citizen loans, it caused the housing market to increase. Let me just show you how. At one point in time, you guys probably remember this right here. So real estate commission was 6%, but the average home cost was about $100,000. I remember this just like yesterday, guys. My first home was $109,000, and man, it was a great house. I mean, I had people all from the country. I was the first one to buy a house in my family, guys. In my immediate family, I was the first one to get a house. I got $100,000 house, man. And man, back then, I was like in maybe 90 something, maybe 96 or something like that. And I had people from all down in the country coming up to look at my house. Man, this is a nice house. $100,000 home. Wow. Now, what ended up happening, and that was a good house, guys. It's a nice size house, nice, good house in a nice neighborhood, nice school system. That was back then. Well, when the government jumped into the game and said, hey, everybody should have a house, and they created these government agencies. So government got a hold of this game, right? And when the government got a hold of the game, what that meant is that all the loans were going to be backed by the federal government. So guess what the banks did? The banks came in and said, you know something? We know the government is going to pay us, even if the people can't afford it. So they started creating what they call predatory loans. Hope I spelled that right because I don't feel like changing it again. They created all these these predatory loans, and you didn't even have to show proof of income. You could just, you could just say, this is what I make, stated income. I mean, all kind of loans, because the banks knew that they were going to get their money. You got to understand, these banks are going to figure out a way to maximize the top dollar or get the most amount of money. So when they started doing this, everybody started getting loans. And when everybody started getting loans, guess what else happened? And builders, you got a part of this right here too. So builders didn't have to worry about watching their costs, because the houses were going to sell anyway, because everybody, for the most part, can get a loan. So builders didn't have to check their costs. They didn't have to force accountability on the subcontractors and the suppliers to keep their costs down. They didn't have to do that. So the cost of houses, due to just not checking everybody, the cost of houses went up, skyrocketed, guys, because everybody was getting a loan. Cost of houses went up. Now, at one time, guys, when a house was $100,000, you paid that real estate agent $6,000. Fair price. But when this right here, guys, everybody's going unchecked and all this right here started happening. Get this right here. When all this right here started happening, all these guys got into the bandwagon, builders too, and they bumped the cost up of the houses. The house costs started inflating. Wasn't nobody checking nobody. Wasn't nobody looking. Same thing happened with student loan debt too. Same thing happened with college tuition. This is the exact same thing that happened. It just rose up the cost of houses. Builders didn't care because they were getting more money than they ever got before. You know? So now the cost of houses, now you look at today, the average cost, now we had inflation and all these things is kicking in here too. So now the cost of houses is up to $500,000. Now, here's the thing, guys. When the houses were $500,000, when the houses were $100,000 when I first got my house, the commission for the real estate agent was, for the most part, 6%. Okay, which wasn't so bad. It bumped up the house to $106,000 because the seller has to pay the commission. But now let's understand, what did the agent do for this 6%? What did they do? You know what they did? They took this house. And I'm not saying all of them, but they took this house. Let me get over here. And they parked this bad boy they parked it on MLS. So that agent took it and put it on MLS. Guys, if you don't want to know what MLS is, It's multiple listing agents. It's multiple listing services. And that's where you can put all the real estate properties up there where all the agents got access to it, and they can see what's out there on the market, so that they can see what's selling and what's on the market. Some of the agents, they put a sign out in front, parked it on MLS, and let that do the rest. That's what we were paying $6,000 for. Every once in a while, on weekends, you had an open house. Okay, then you had your nosy neighbors that can come in. They want to see what was in the house. So that's what happened. Fast forward to today. Same thing is happening right here, guys. Same thing. What's the big difference are they doing today than they did back then? But the difference in cost today is going to be $30,000. This is the problem that a lot of guys have. A lot of builders are going to have a real estate commission. This is the biggest problem, because there's not much of a difference than what they did back then, parking that thing on multiple listing agencies versus what they're doing now. But the increase in the amount of money that you're going to pay them is going to be $30,000. And then on top of that $30,000, you have not increased the cost of the house itself. You have not added any value to the cost of the house. This is a problem, which what this does is it further inflates housing costs. Now, I'm not saying the real estate agents, guys, I'm not saying the real estate agent shouldn't be paid, but I'm saying that there should be another way. Maybe real estate agents should start charging based on the amount of hours. They should have an hourly fee. No problem, just like attorneys, just like builders. What I do is I figure out how many hours it's gonna take me, how much time it's gonna take me to deal with a particular house. I figure out how much time it's gonna take, and I try to make sure I get enough hourly. All my guys that work, if I have a superintendent, I try to figure that out. Just straight commission, that's a lot, guys. And like I said, you're inflating the cost of the house, and you're not adding any real value to that house. You're not increasing countertops. You're not changing the hardwood floors out. You're not adding bath fixtures in there. You're not putting another paint job on it, adding more crown molding, baseboard. You're not doing any of that, because the seller got to pay for it. This becomes a problem, guys. So, and once again, guys, first thing a lot of people like to say is not all. Guys, I'm not talking about all. I'm just talking about that 80% that's out here playing around. Now, there's something else that's going on with a lot of these agents, and now this right here is happening also with the 20%. So we're gonna let's come over here. These are the 20% guys. The 20% guys are doing this right here now. This is something else I wanted to talk about and harp on. So let's look at some of the 20% guys, 20% agents, the good agents. Guys that are real good. They're very savvy in their game. What are they doing? I'm seeing here, guys, in Birmingham. I don't know what's going on in Birmingham, man. Golly, man. We just kind of, I don't know what's going on, guys. We operate sometimes entirely out of order. You got a lot of these agents here. It's 80 and the 20%, all of them. They want to be builders. Just making their money as a real estate agent is just not enough. They want it all. They want it all. They want builder. They want to be builders too. Some of these guys have been doing this stuff for 20, 30 years, 20 years. Now all of a sudden, 20th year, you want to be a builder now. And a lot of them have sat down and said, some of these builders make a lot of money. Really, they don't really know what builders don't really know what they're making until probably a month or two after that house, because all the bills come in. You really don't know what you made until you're done with that house for the most part. A lot of these guys are coming out here, man, they want to be builders, flippers, and all this kind of stuff. They woo, woo, woo. And what they're doing is they're going out here. Some of these agents are going out here and building. And they hadn't spent all the time and the effort like us builders in mastering their trade. They mastered the real estate game. Great. But they haven't mastered that building game. It takes time to master that building game. It takes time to master the real estate game. But they're out here, they want to build too. They're out here building houses too. There's some of them even out here going to some of these builders and getting the builders to help them build. Builders, I wouldn't do it if I was you guys, because now you're teaching this person to now become your competitor. Now they're going to make their money off the real estate, and they're going to be they're going to be your competition as well. Now, why not do this right here? This is another thought, guys. Why not just do this? Why not? If you're that agent, 20%, 80%, whichever one you are, why not master being the greatest agent on the planet? Just like me, as a builder, I don't want to be the real estate person. I don't want to do it. Let y'all have that. Agent, master being an agent. Master your game. There's a lot to learn in your game. The market keeps changing. You'll never learn enough about being a real estate agent. I don't even know if you ever master it, because the market, there's ebbs and flows in the market. You don't know which type of market you're going to have in 6 months. But master your game. Become the best agent you could become. You're going to make your money. I tell you guys, money is a byproduct of you perfecting and mastering your game. And when you make that additional money that you make because you master your game, then take that money, that extra money that you made, and instead of you trying to be a builder, invest in a building company like myself. I sell you shares. Now you become an owner in a building company with someone who understands building and has been doing it for a while and has failed and gotten up and done his thing. What's wrong with that? Now you got a building company, you got somebody that's competent in building, you're winning. Say for instance me, if I master the building thing, I got additional money, I got to do something with this money. Extra money now. This real estate game looking pretty good. Hey, I'm gonna invest my money, I'm gonna go buy shares in this real estate company. Become part of their company. What's wrong with that? I don't want to go out here and do that, what they do. There's a lot of people that do that. Which it seems like in our community, we want it all. We want it all. And that's, again, guys, to me, I'll be honest with you, that's that scarcity mindset. We're trying to get it all because we may run out. Guys, you can't look at life like that. You can't. There's abundance here, man. If you think in abundance, everybody can make really good. Everybody can do well. It's just another rant I had, guys. It's just another rant. I thought about this right here. Agents. Get in your line. There's nothing wrong with that. Get in your lane. There's enough money to go around for everybody. Guys, look like like, share, subscribe. Looks like things have been doing pretty, guys. My channel is kind of growing a little bit. My views are growing. So I got to do what I got to do now. I got to stop struggle streaming. Now, instead of me doing stuff like this right here, I got to go ahead and get more cameras and setups now. I said that when I get over 1,000 subscribers, I would do these things. So thank you guys for helping me grow this channel. Once again, like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell button so that every time I do a new video, it pops up. Think about it, guys. Once again, I didn't say all. And you guys have a go.